traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? Dingo! We're gonna be rich.
Hey THL, welcome to Salty Saturday, first Saturday of the new season, and I'm excited to be here and not dead on the couch like yesterday because that's pretty cool. I'm Donde, and I'm here with Craig of Canada tonight. Craig, how is your first week in THL?
Man, it's been going really good.
You've played a couple matches so far, right? Everything going well in the matches, meeting some.
Yeah, absolutely. I won my match on stream last night and it was great. And today I lost a match, but I'm still feeling good.
That's awesome. And now you're here to cast. So you're just getting the full THL experience in the first week, which is fantastic. And I must give a shout out to our man Saku behind the scenes. He is running the stream tonight. So we're in good hands. He's happy. His 49ers won. So he's feeling good. And we've got two matches tonight, both from the same game, both in Legacy. So the matchups tonight are going to be at 8 o'clock. We've got Chewbacca versus Brushy Tuna. Chewbacca of the Good Luck Albatrosses and Brushy Tuna of DMB. And then Ducharmo will be at 9 versus Kel. So that's also Ducharmo of the Good Luck Albatrosses and Kel of DMB as well. And to make matters more interesting, I don't know if you guys have taken a look at the page on the website that shows the weekly scores, but this match is at 8-8 right now through 3 matches. So these two games will both matter tonight and decide which way this week goes.
Yeah, it's going to be very intense, and I'm excited to see just how it works out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And just those who don't know, Legacy is our Conquest series, so we will be seeing best of 5 with one ban, and so it'll be four decks brought, 4 classes brought for each of these players, and one will be banned, which we will find out as we get into the match. Just to give a quick rundown of what's happened in the series so far, Twos and Catman both won 3-2 for the Good Luck Albatrosses over Tony Montana and Surlos respectively, and Lefty has kept DMB in the match with a sweep over It's Me Mike V. So that's why we're at 8-8 right now, and that's one of the, I think, the only extremely close match in the Red Conference this week so far, as most of the other ones have at least a little bit, not lopsided, but a team kind of leading the way here. So this should be a lot of fun. And I think we should talk a little bit about what we're going to see in this first matchup here, and that's going to be that Brushy Tuna and what we say, Brushy and Chewbacca first. So let's talk about the classes that they're bringing and what we might expect to see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to do a rundown of their classes while I look them up?
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck Albatross, or I'm sorry, Good luck Albatross is the name of the team. Chewbacca's name of the player. Chewbacca's bringing Priest, Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior tonight, and Brushy's bringing Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior. So basically, the only difference in the lineups, Chewbacca's got Priest, Brushy's got Rogue. Rogue's a little bit more flexible right now. Priest seems like it might only really have that Quest Resurrect version that is pretty popular right now, pretty strong, but a little targetable, I would suppose, that you could kind of figure out what your what your opponent's bringing there, and it might be a little bit of a detriment in Conquest, whereas the other three classes and Shaman for Brushy are going to be all a little more flexible. So just off the bat, I think Brushy's got to have a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right off the bat that this week I played my two first THL matches. I brought Priest to both matches, and I never played Priest once. Like, people have been banning that left and right this week.
That is a distinct possibility. Priest does have kind of a different game plan than some of the other decks out there, and if you don't have a lot of either Mass Dispel to counter, obviously a Priest only card, if you don't have some sort of silence effects, you might end up just getting overrun in the late game, and it's a really tough thing to come back from if they can get that deep into the game. So there are, as far as Brushy's, though, all of them have an aggressive archetype that he could bring that could get in under that Priest, so he may opt not to ban the Priest. I've seen actually just looking at all the different ban options so far, we've seen quite a diverse spread. 10 have banned Warrior so far in this conference, and 5 have banned Rogue. Those are the top 2 bans, so we might see a Rogue or a Warrior ban just because they are powerful classes with a couple different options.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see. Like, I don't know what match are you most excited for if to see these two classes go up against each other today?
Right now, Rogue seems the most interesting to me, both as a person playing it and watching someone pilot the Rogue decks. A lot of them have little unique twists, and it's not as linear as a game plan as some of the other classes are out there. So you've got a little bit of an option and some tougher turns that really make you think. And there's a penchant for mistakes too when that happens, which can lead to some interesting gameplay as far as how do people on the other end who see a mistake happen capitalize on that mistake, which we'll have caster vision, so we'll have a little bit more information than the opponent. But I like watching Rogue matchups. I think they're very skill testing, even Rogue mirrors.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
it'll be fun to see.
So what do you guys have for bans? What did you guys say were bans?
We were thinking about what they could be. I was thinking Rogue and Warrior are the two most popular bans right now, but Craig was on the Priest.
All right, so Brushy ended up banning Chewbacca's Priest, and Chewbacca banned Warrior. Oh.
So definitely a little bit of both sides there. I mean, no priest to ban for that Brushy doesn't have a priest, I should say, so Chewbacca can't ban that. So we'll be seeing what Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior for Chewbacca versus Shaman, Warlock, and Rogue for Brushy.
Exactly. Still, I am just going to let the players know that they can start their matches. We'll see Brushy Tuna on the bottom, so he'll be the first one to spectate. And then Chewbacca will be on top, which will be the second person for us.
Excellent. Okay. Let's get it started.
Oh, Brushy just said he DQ'd. So match one is all done, guys. Joking.
Wait, are we serious?
No, we're not serious.
Thank God.
It's
okay.
Brushy being Brushy. So
Brushy is a jokester. You actually had my heart drop a little bit there. I was excited to see, the match, and then was trying to immediately think of how we could scramble to fill the time for the next game. Saku, this is why I love you and hate you at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I get you on the spot.
Imagine if the Super Bowl did that to open up their game. Hey guys, the one team forfeited, so let's go. Just kidding.
Yeah, straight to the mid game show, man. We're good.
That would be definitely a first, I think, on live TV.
Yep, it'd be the last. First and last.
Well, while we're waiting for the players to start up here too, we can just kind of run through some of the scores of what we've seen so far. Bye has beaten is ahead of the Stubs 14-10 with 1 match to go. So even if they pick up 1 more point in that final match, they will be the winners. As we said, DMB and Good Luck Albatross are tied at 8. Hot Zilf's up 10-5 right now over Just Rogue Things with 2 matches to go. And the Not YJs have won the week against Team Anoyo Team 13-5, all in the red conference with Toxic Reinforcements on bye this week. So they will be bringing up the rear as far as the standings are concerned. Way to get 0 points this week, guys.
So we got players rolling right now. Brushy with Shaman, and homeboy Chewbacca is rolling with Warrior.
All right, I'm hopping in the game right now.
Brushy going with the standard Galaka.
There we are. Yes, it does look like a handful of spells for Brushy right out of the gate with Spirit of the Frog in hand too. So he's going to be primed to go and get a lot of his draw through his deck pretty quickly, it would appear. He's going to Farsight here on turn 3. They are playing quick right now just to go ahead and get some more fire out of the deck. And Chewbacca is playing a Bomb Warrior?
This
Or
is
Clockwork
interesting.
Goblin? Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything quite like this, at least not on ladder, that's for sure. He's definitely playing. I guess you would consider this to be more of like a Galakron tempo warrior style with the bombs as an added damage benefit. Considering he's got all the Galakron cards, we see that right there, Scion of Ruin. So it's kind of like that standard archetype where he's just trying to tempo out damage, and the bombs are just that extra threat of damage if you're playing against a class that likes to empty its.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we see the Spirit of the Frog come down here, so we are setting up at Brushy's end for a big spell turn the next time around. No way to interact with it as far as Chewbacca is concerned, so he's just going to play that Devoted Maniac to keep the Galakron moving here. Well, to start the Galakron, I should say. That's only his first Galakron card.
Yeah, Spirit of the Shark though, that's gonna be a tough one for him to deal with, especially having a second one in hand to keep drawing all the cards he needs.
Yeah, he comes up with the Invocation of Frost. Is the only, or actually no, he's got maybe 2 options. Earthen Might be in the deck, I would imagine. Witch's Brew if he's got a second copy. Though he does pull the Invocation to get Galakron going, and he's going to be kind of stuck there mana-wise. But next turn, he's got Dragon's Pack online because he has 2 Galakron invokes at this point. So he is, I would say, a little bit ahead at this point of Chewbacca, who was hoping to do a little bit more damage by the time he got to turn 5.
Yeah, you guys said we played fast, eh?
Yeah, this is quick.
It's hard to keep up.
Dragon's Pack does seem like a possibility here. Trying to think he could, if he has more than 1 hex, he could pull it with Farsight, but he's just going to go ahead and hex the 6/6 here, and
Well,
that
this
will probably
gets him
ground.
another. It'll get him another Dragon Pack.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Ooh,
Oh no, I didn't think of that.
I did not think of that either. Yes, I guess that is a pretty good counter to
Wow.
the Spirit of the Frog.
Ever cool. Yeah, I ran into that with Prismatic Lens before, where I draw the spell I drew was the bomb, but I didn't even think about it with Spirit of the Shark.
Yeah, it's not a common interaction since we don't see a whole lot of the Bomb Warrior being run nowadays. Ever since that these decks have kind of taken off. But this is a big swing here. Now Chewbacca's got the Scion of Ruin on board. 3 of them all stayed alive and managed to clear off Brushy Tuna's side. So this is actually all of a sudden pretty scary for Brushy, even though it seemed like he was pretty well in control. Dragon's Pack would gonna probably do a little bit to mitigate, but it depends if Chewbacca. To his knowledge, Brushy does not know if Chewbacca has a way to duplicate that Scion of Ruin and keep the value train going. We see that he does not at the moment. But, oh, I'm sorry, no, he just drew the Bloodsworn Mercenary. So unless he gets rid of that 3/1 damaged, he's going to have a much bigger board to deal with this next turn.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't deal with this, Warrior has lethal. Chewbacca has lethal.
Well, he's definitely going to deal with at least part of the board here.
Yeah, this is looking good.
Oh, what a mutate! Wow.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
probably the best
stings.
mutate he could have hit given the situation and try and keep the damage off his face.
Yeah, really. What else
that
is better? Ziliax, maybe.
I mean, Ziliax for the immediate effect, but this is going to soak up a lot more damage in the meantime.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game to see play out.
He is going to be able to clear it off though this turn, though it is going to soak up at least one of the Scions. Yeah, he's going to use that Inner Rage now. 12 damage, get 3 to face, and leave a little bit extra board presence there. But that really does slow down the game plan significantly for Chewbacca. And this has got to be a Dragon's Pack turn, I would imagine, for Brushy. And that's
Yeah, this looks
exactly
so-
what it's going to be.
Seeing that nerf in play.
Yeah, just a few days, one of those would take that shield of Galakrond out of play. But right now, they are just going to go ahead and eat one of these claw charges. And let's see.
Oh,
huge
what a
Ziliax.
Galakrond!
Oh man, and oh no.
This is an incredible Galakrond play.
So he's got that Ziliax in hand now, and the Korkron is now an 8/7. So he's got. If there's any way for him to damage that, like if he draws Galakrond Awakens, he's going to be able to just go ahead and duplicate that and just send all that damage.
Yeah. He's got Inner Rages in this deck. Does he have Cruel Taskmaster or no?
He might. It's kind of hard not knowing exactly what's in the list, but that is an option. He's used one Inner Rage so far, so that is a possible top deck as well that he can pull to start the combo. Though with the Shield of Galakrond in play, that will absorb. Well, it absorbs the claw, but that's not going to stop lethal if he does have a duplicating a card that allows him to duplicate the elite.
Lots of pressure here.
Yeah, he doesn't really feel the need to combo. He's just going to go ahead and put Brushy down to 2 and say it's your move. And it looks like it's going to have to be Witch's Brew, I would imagine, at this point, to at least try to see if you can keep yourself alive.
I don't know why you play the 3/3 here.
Well, he gets 2 for the price of 1 on. And
Yeah, but
gets
you lose an activation, and what's a 3/3 in this case? I don't know.
Well, I think the mutate's coming down to. I think that's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
Still dangerous. 11 damage showing with the hero power. Trying to see what we just picked up a Town Crier, so that's not going to be anything of note. Do have a Wrench Caliber. That's an extra 3. And adds another chance to just draw into death with a bomb.
Well, this is a big play. He's going to be having pretty low here.
Yeah, bomb is a 1 in 10 chance that Brushy just dies outright here. And even if he doesn't draw the bomb, this has got to be Shudderwalk to see if he can still survive through. And guess what? The bomb that just got put in the deck is drawn right off the top, and that's game 1 for Chewbacca.
What a way to end it.
You know, we talked about the bombs at the outset of that just being a potential extra bit of damage. It did do 10 damage over the course of that game. Kind of not a common inclusion in the deck, but an interesting one for sure. That definitely, I think, changed a little bit of the game plan there. Brushy may be thrown off by the fact that he drew the bomb with his Spirit of the Frog. I mean, we weren't even really paying attention to that ourselves either.
Yeah, I forgot about the bombs. This is interesting. I hope a lot of his decks have some. It's closed deck list, right?
It is closed deck list, so it is going to be, you know, a game of hidden information, which is pretty standard in THL as far as Legacy and Hero is concerned. So you're looking at, you know, now Brushy knows, or Chewbacca knows what Brushy's running for a Shaman deck, which will give him a little bit of an advantage here on his second pick to see if he wants to either play into or play around that. Looks like they're both choosing Warlock this time around.
Yeah, I'm wondering what other surprises we're gonna have in these decks. That's the fun part about a closed deck list format, is getting to see cards you don't normally necessarily see.
Speaking of cards, you don't normally get to see Frizz in a Warlock deck. I don't know if I've seen that one. Is
Yeah,
that
this
more
is
of a
likely Malagos.
I was gonna say it must be a Malagos variant, and
So
possibly a Malagos variant for both of them actually.
yeah, well, it doesn't look like Brushy Teeth is playing Malagos. Brushy
So
Teeth,
this
Brushy Tuna, sorry.
brushy teeth. I like honestly I like brushy teeth myself. It is important to your hygiene to make sure that you do brushy.
Yeah, I'm guessing Brushy Tuna is playing your new no hands Warlock.
Yeah, I've heard about this. I have not gotten to experience it myself. Certainly haven't played it and certainly haven't come against it on ladder yet. So, in your experience, what is the typical game plan with a deck like that?
Well, if that's what he's playing, which it looks like it might be, your control deck, but you can apply a ton of pressure and then win with damage. So it's like almost mid-rangey control. It's a really powerful deck. It's probably one of the top decks in the meta right now.
Very interesting.
Popularized by No Hands Gamer.
And it looks like we've got a Mountain Giant in hand now. It's gonna be pretty cheap to play next turn for Chewbacca. Or would he prefer possibly to play the Doomsayer maybe to try and see if he can abate the influx of damage that's coming here over the next turn from Brushy Tuna?
Yeah, I don't think Doomsayer would be the play here at all. I think, or maybe it's hard to say, right?
Dark Skies is not a
sense.
bad. Dark Skies plus Doomsayer could make you say, "All right, I'm going to reset you a turn and force you to have to wait to be able to play more stuff and kind of take back."
Yeah, and I think he's doing what you want him to do. Yeah, that's not a bad play at all.
No, it's going to allow him to get that Mountain Giant down clean this next turn, and yeah, I don't really
active.
Yeah, this is not really a great turn here for Brushy. Not much he can do besides tap, I would suppose.
Yeah, he's still looking good though. He has a lot of top end stuff in his hand that Alexstrasza needs to become active, but it's gonna be a great hand once he gets to Highlander mode.
Chewbacca opts to tap instead of playing that Sun Fury Protector. I thought he might play the Sun Fury Protector just to get a little bit of extra damage on board while he has the initiative, but he would rather tap, get the extra card in his hand, and have the cheaper Mountain Giant next turn, it would seem. Maybe then he's trying to go for the Mountain Giant and be able to taunt that up instead, but I don't know if that's necessarily a better play.
That Veiled Worshipper looks good though. I'm thinking I'm leaning towards Brushy Tuna taking this one. That's where I'm gonna go with this. Those golden legendaries too. I mean, he's got style.
Definitely. Zeraku the Warp comes down for Chewbacca. Didn't have a way to damage himself right away, but it's not going to be the easiest remove for Brushy. He's going to have to put a little bit of investment in here in order to get rid of it. Or just, twisting Nether next turn, but that just seems like a gross waste of the card.
Yeah, he could go. There's not much else he can. It's hard to say what he's gonna do this turn.
Yeah, his hand's kind of a bit of a brick right now. You don't probably want to use Zephyrus if you can avoid it, but maybe like Ziliax into.
Zephyrus isn't active either.
Yeah, so I'm saying Zephyrus plus Plague of Flames would easily get rid of the Zeraku, but those are big cards for you.
Yeah, you'd really miss it. Oh, early Galakron. I don't think that's the play.
He doesn't want it, but I don't see a whole lot of choices in there. I kind of like Ziliax plus Plague of Flames as an option, but that's actually not a bad.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for him.
Cheap Mountain Giant coming down, and I think this is going to be a hand management turn here for Chewbacca to try and set up for that Veldris.
Yeah, this is it's exciting when it gets all swingy like this. You get all these giant minions on board.
can use that Mortal Coil, and he will. And there's the Malagos, and as you can see, it's discounted thanks to the first Kindle Roost that was played a few turns ago. So he does have a little bit of combo power there, and he's got Alexstrasza in hand too.
And
So with the
Soulfire
5
to boot.
armor, oh yeah, absolutely. There's going to be, yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of damage here next turn unless Brushy can remove. He only needs to do 20 with that Alexstrasza.
I wonder if this is a twisting nether turn.
It seems like it might have to be. Twisting Nether, hope you can handle whatever comes up next turn, maybe Dragon Queen, but that's not even
Oh, Plague of Flames, that's smart. No, he was right.
a good turn. Definitely a good turn. Yeah, Fiendish Rites is probably all you can do, because if you use the Veiled Worshipper, you're kind of, just throwing away a card at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Brushy Tuna looking for one more piece of damage to close this game out.
This is a good spot to drop the Alexstrasza. We've already seen heal. And I mean, there's really not a whole lot of threat on board. Now he's going to go ahead and use the Scale Rider instead.
Unity, precision, perfection.
It seems like that's a little bit more of a passive turn. I think with 20 health, you're still in good shape. Probably not in any sort of lethal range, even with the Alexstrasza that just got drawn in hand for.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he just drops Alexstrasza this turn. I guess he could Dark Skies into the Worshipper.
I don't know. See, Ziliax, knowing what your opponent's playing here and knowing that there's an Alexstrasza, and it's going to have to be a turn in and of itself, it feels like you'd want to save that Ziliax to get a little bit of health back after the Alexstrasza. That is inevitable here. So that to me seems like you're giving away a little bit in terms of what you can do to counter your opponent's endgame. So I think I would prefer to hold Ziliax there, even though it is only 3 health.
Yeah, he does have Sack Pack and as well as Zephyrus for heal, and he has one more Sack Pack in the deck. But I still think I see where you're coming from, and he's going to overdraw this turn to boot. So hopefully he doesn't drop anything too important.
I have too many cards.
That doesn't seem massively important at this stage,
Yeah,
so I think
not at
that's probably okay. Yeah. And you are right, he does have the capability of healing 10 on the spot here. Hero Power plus Sack Pact with the 2 in hand.
Yeah, I want to see. The problem is he's always answering questions, and he's not presenting enough questions of himself for himself. He's always answering the questions.
Yeah, this just seems like it seems like a pretty dire spot right now, to be honest. I don't see a way with what Brushy's got in hand right now, short of getting that Zephyrus online. I don't think there's a way that he can really come back. It just seems like Chewbacca's in such a good position at this.
Yeah, that Malagos is gonna be the thing that will help this game a lot for the mirror match, right? He has reach, and the other guy doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't really need to have the board presence at a certain state.
And he hasn't used any of his powerful board clears yet. His most powerful stuff's still in hand: Twisting Nether and Dark Skies, Netherway.
Yeah, that's a good time for Netherwing right here. Just go ahead and clear off the board. Brushy Tuna trying to gain traction and just failing to do so. That's
That
also
flick-
a great start.
Yeah, that flick is really showing its use. Or Frizz, sorry, that Frizz.
Yeah, for Frizz, I mean, the earlier you get it down in the game, the more value you can potentially generate from it, since you've got a majority of the dragons that are in your deck still in the deck. But yeah, it seems like it's a pretty strong card in this deck, and if he's digging for damage, he can always pull down Faldrus at any point that he wants to go ahead and bump that hand size up to 12 and draw 4 cards potential damage out of the.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I think he only has 9 cards left in his deck, and he
That's
still
correct.
hasn't got his Highlander stuff online.
Dark Skies will go ahead and clear off most of the board, save for the Reborn cartoon. And we continue to draw. There's Crocs. That'll help out a little bit. Ooh, the Mortal Coil is a good pickup here. Easy removal of the Cartoon defense. Now he will have to use a sack pact if he doesn't want to overdraw.
Oh, that was a mistake not
And
using
he
the
opts
sack
not
pack.
to. I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad spot to do it there, honestly. It's not really like he's in immediate danger of dying, but it would be a nice boost to your,
You know what?
your health total.
This is why he wants to keep those sack packs, though.
Oh yeah, big demon right there. Absolutely. It's absolutely gonna hit by a sack pack this turn.
I think that was worth it. I think he just keeps making these next level plays that I'm really. Might not win this game, but it's gonna be close.
Honestly, he can throw down Alex Straza sack pack this turn and has Kronks waiting in the wings for an extra burst of damage.
Yeah, this could go either way.
Is nigh.
Not to mention Zephyrus is gonna be online any minute now.
He's gonna go ahead and pump the minion. This is scary all of a sudden, but we do see Twisting Nether on the other side, and I think it has to be that next turn.
Can we just point out the unlikeliness that Zephyrus would still be offline with 4 cards left in his deck?
4 cards, absolutely. That is insane.
It's insane. That's the only word for it.
Trying to
insane.
think what else would be in the deck that's causing.
It's Netherwing, I believe.
That would be. It has to be. That's the only thing we haven't seen multiples of.
Or we haven't seen any of.
Or any of. Yes, you're correct. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I imagine he's playing it, right? There's no reason not to.
And there it is. And there's the game, because Zephyrus
that's
is going to just
lethal.
give him a fireball.
Wow, despite not drawing his deck the way that he wanted to, playing a half-full Galakrond, he still found lethal. This was a good match.
Yeah, that's a strong turnaround from Brushy. I think you're right that, as we talked about, it looked like Brushy was on his heels the entire game. I think Chewbacca might have suffered a little bit from not playing the aggressive line when he had the opportunity, like when he had the chance to play Alex Straza a turn or two earlier. And I think that's really what cost him the game. But now we're back to, it's going to be, no, it's not going to be 2-1. It's going to be 2-0 now. Brushy Tuna's lead. Yes, he did. I'm looking at your graphic on the stream right now, and it looks like we might have it backwards. Because you have Shu having Warrior Band. Oh, I see what happened. Your classes for Brushy Tuna are Chewbacca's. You have them backwards. Because Brushy does not have Priest. So it is 1-1 in that case then, with Chewbacca sticking with the Warlock, Brushy moving back to the Shaman. So these are now 2 decks that we've seen. 2 decks that the opponent has seen as well.
Less hidden information makes for a more skillful game.
And of course, he didn't see every card in the deck, but you do have a pretty reasonable idea of what your opponent's working with, just knowing the meta.
You know what? I wonder if he would have figured out that it was Malagos from that last match.
That is possible that he wouldn't have known that, though I think the Frizz does give that away a little.
Yes, you're right. Frizz is the reason you would know.
Yeah, I would imagine that Brushy is knowing what's up after he saw that, and he'll know what's up again after it gets played on possibly on turn 4, since we do see it in Chewbacca's hand once again.
Isn't that great? I like that when it's a big game that matters, though, when you draw the card that your deck's built around. It's nice to see.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to see if you're the person
Oh
running that deck, your
no!
opponent very unhappy about it.
Yeah, but
Oh no,
look what he
Ballot goes
drew.
1 turn 2.
Unfortunate for our friend Chewbacca. He's gonna have to find another way to get that extra damage in.
Yeah, that is definitely the worst timing possible there. But like you said, it's not the end of the world. He still can come back and you know and move forward, find another line in this game very early on. So we'll have to see what he comes up with. Though Brushy Tuna does seem to be rolling right now. He's got that first Galakrond invoke online. He doesn't have anything. No, he does have a devoted maniac in his hand to keep the Galakrond rolling, and he's got quite a few spells here if he wants to continue pushing more value out of that Spirit of the Frog.
Yeah, and I would guess that's what he'd like to be doing here.
Yeah, coin. He can go ahead and coin to grab another 1-cost spell. Probably would end up being Earth Shock, his second Earth Shock, and then if he plays one of those Earth Shocks, well, he doesn't want to play an Earth Shock now because then he'll unfreeze. No, he'll just kill it. He'll just kill it.
He could mutate for Invocation of Frost as well.
That's true. And he opts not to do anything, though, thinking that his 0-3 is probably safe, unless the Crazed Netherwing comes down, which it will.
You honestly love when you see it.
Yeah, Crazed Netherwing does, of course, take out Frizz, but overall, value-wise, I think that was the right play for Chewbacca to try and, restabilize and retake the.
Wow, he's gonna get a lot of his Galakrond cards in hand this turn if he wants to use one of these mutates. Oh wait, I was thinking Frog was still out.
Yeah, Frog's not there anymore, but I think he's probably thinking of the potential the Zentimo. Like, he's got Zentimo plus Hex, which is one of the strongest combinations in the deck.
Especially in this matchup as well, when he has so many huge threats.
Ooh, the Corrupt Elemental is right on time. I think that's the play now. Plus, you can mutate that to get a 7, or even double mutate it to go for an 8.
Let's hope he doesn't get the King Crush off the mutate that I got yesterday. But even if he does, he still has mutate again if he needs it. This is a great turn for our friend Brushy Tuna here.
Yeah, Brushy's got a lot of cards to play if he wants to, and he's gonna just sit on the Invocation of Frost. And he doesn't feel that 5/5's not an immediate threat here. Though we didn't see any sack packs in Chewbacca's deck, I don't think. Is that right?
No sack packs. He can't afford that. He's playing Soulfires as his cheap spell.
Right. So that's Brushy would have seen that last game and known that the 5/8 is safe and not going to just be immediately wiped out by a 0-cost spell. So that's that might have been a consideration of why he didn't go ahead and drop a little bit more of his hand this turn to protect it. And the Abyssal Summoner coming down. That's going to be a sad time for Chewbacca.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. When I talked to Chewbacca about his lineup, he basically said that he felt comfortable bringing anything because just so many decks are so powerful with all the nerfs and stuff. He didn't feel like he needed to play anything too specific.
I'll be able to clear off the Godfrey here with the Devoted Maniac. Or, no, he's going to go ahead and Earthen Might, the Elemental, save himself the minion on board. And I think the part the part that I love here is that it's going to be very upsetting when Chewbacca throws down his large demon only to have it hexed alongside with everything else that he throws down.
Yeah, it's got to feel good to be the shaman in this spot.
And that's a heck of a draw that Alec here too. That's bonus burst damage that is just not going to to be expected.
Yeah, and you gotta love the element of surprise.
The elemental, of course. Earthen Might, I should say.
Yeah, Pyroblast at that point.
So here comes Hex, and then could go ahead and Earth Shock right behind it. Just wipe out everything on board.
Oh, Invocation of Frost. That's even better.
Yeah, never mind.
Let's fully invoke. Let's put. He's invoked his
let's
Galakrond.
do that.
6 times now, I believe. 7
Up
times.
to 7. Yeah, that's the 7th right there. And geez, all he's waiting on is just to draw it.
It's gonna feel good when he does. That's for sure. Not to mention when he draws it again with Shudderwalk.
Shu now just trying to find a way to get around all this damage, and that's a pretty good draw there. This Gray's Netherwing can clear this board right. Yep, with the Scale Rider, that's going to go ahead and take care of the board. And you know, just when you think Shu's done, he finds a way to clear the board and get back in it again. And now, you know, it's back to Brushy to see what he can do.
Drawing
And
that Shudderwalk at an awkward time.
yeah, you don't want the Shudderwalk now. But
Oh, is he
might
gonna
just-
do it?
He
Just
might
to
just
clear
go.
the board. Not a bad play, not greedy at all. I respect that play.
I think the only other option he might have really had was Shields Galakron plus like a double Witch's Brew and say like, okay, you're gonna take out some of your stuff here and it won't be enough to get through. But yeah, like you're saying, that's a lot greedier play than what he went for, which was just, you know, get.
What was that? Oh no. He didn't
That-
mean to do that.
Yeah, that to me says a person who tried to click a bunch of stuff, thought he got the attack off, and just went a little too fast. So maybe actually seeing the speed of play a detriment in this case, because that's the only real explanation for that missed clear. But
who
yeah,
knows
that's
if it would have mattered in the end, but now we'll never know.
right. I don't think it would have with the Malagos Soulfire in the hand there, but at the same time, it doesn't feel good if you're Brushy Tuna to miss that just one little attack there. But that is going to make it 2-1 in Chewbacca's favor at this point with only the Rogue to remain. So we're either going to see Rogue versus the Warrior or Rogue versus that versus the Rogue in a mirror match here. Oh, I'm sorry, Rogue versus Shaman, I should say. As it will be Rogue versus Shaman.
Fun fact about Chewbacca, he actually mentors a robotics team.
I did not know that. A
Right.
school-based robotics team, or
Yes, so the school robotics team that he used to be on, he goes back to mentor them. That's how
That's very
much
cool.
he loves robots.
so this is not an ideal starting hand for Brushy Tuna. I'm sure he's going to go ahead and just chuck that whole thing, which it looks like he is. And definitely a slight upgrade with the Farsight. Devoted Maniac is fine. And Chewbacca doesn't really have a whole lot going on in the early turns. That Swamp Ooze, unfortunately for him, is really only going to target the Galaxy. But that
You know,
Flybooter, good
it looks
pickup.
like we have Highlander Rogue coming from Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's really the only rogue I think that the Acidic Swamp Ooze would fit into, because you can kind of pull some of the, you know, one of the cards out there for that as a tech. But
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think
it's
most of these builds have dropped the Death Rattle package now and replaced it with Ooze.
so Farsight coming down for Brushy. We'll see what he gets out of it. It's Kronks, which not terrible considering he's got the double Corrupt Elemental in hand already, but he's going to have to survive that long.
Yeah, and if he does, like, I don't think he's gonna get too much pressure from Chewbacca in this matchup. And that Kronk is really good when you have it alongside the actual Galakron himself in one turn. If you get to that point where you can play them back to back,
Absolutely.
oh, that's a nice card to head here.
Probably going to see that Devoted Maniac come down. Well, either of them at this point, just to get him a little bit of a respite on the board. It'll drop Chewbacca down to.
Oh, I'm surprised. You know what? 3 mana
Really?
6/6 is a pretty great rate.
It is pretty good right here, but I feel like that seems like it could have been. I mean, we lauded him for the not greedy play last time, and that's not a very greedy play, of course. But it just feels like there's a way. There's so many ways that can get punished. We're looking at Lightning Bolt right now, which clears the Gronks off. No, he's not going to go ahead and do that.
I'm not sure. I still think I preferred playing the Maniac last turn. Like, he's not using all his mana now, whereas he could have used he could have played Gronk and Hero Power this turn. So I think he should have.
Right.
I think he should have played the Maniac last turn.
Yeah, because he basically just took the 2 turns and flip-flopped them, and now he took a little bit extra damage because stuff was on the board. He could have taken out those minions last turn and done basically the same thing here as he did, which I definitely don't think that was what I would have done. Chewbacca's got a good answer to the remaining health of the Kronks there with the Rush Lackey, and then that's still going to leave him with a pretty decent board, 3/1/1s out there to work with, but Corrupt Elementalist is a...
And he's got a fully invoked Galakrond as of now.
And I guess that was the ultimate play that he was probably thinking of. He was thinking, let's go and get that Galakrond online on 7 at its full height and say, what does Chewbacca have in his deck other than Flick that might really deal with?
And unfortunately for Brushy Tuna, Flick is in hand.
Yeah, that's going to be an immediate counter to when that Galakrond comes down next turn. So Shu does have the card that he needs to go ahead and continue to push a little bit of damage and control the flow of this.
And actually, it looks like he'll be able to play Flick and Acidic Swamp Ooze to really clean up. Oh, he's not playing Galakrond yet.
Oh, you know, the reason he's not playing Galakrond is that was only his 3rd invocation last turn. So he would have not gotten the full benefit of Galakrond had he done that.
Oops, sorry about that.
So that's fine. You know, Brushy's still going to probably proceed with the Galakrond next turn, and Chewbacca will still use the Flick. So the ultimate way the game is going to seem to play out will be the same, just a turn later than the...
Oh my goodness! I just realized that you couldn't play Invocation of Frost off of Mutate because with the Frog because it costs 2 mana now.
Now. Oh yeah.
Completely
Still
forgot about
card.
that. Oh, what a nice draw!
No. So Chewbacca, you can deal with 1 Galakrond, but can you deal with 2? And no, I believe is going to be the answer to that question.
No is almost always the answer to that question. Oh man, you gotta love it.
And this is going to be 11 damage getting home too, as I would imagine the 6/6 is going to go face, the Claw is going to go face, and then it's just going to be a whole lot of damage over the next 2 turns that Shu is just not equipped to deal with.
Yeah, even Ooze Flick isn't good enough here.
Okay, so he takes out the Lackey, a little bit of a guard against a Togwaggle, so I can totally get that. Feels bad to hit it with a 5/2 weapon, but yeah, here comes the Swamp Ooze, which Chewbacca's been holding on to, and the Flick as we expected. So Shu did exactly what he's got to do, what he knows the right play is, and you know, he has to fear the possibility of the Shudderwalk coming down next turn, and he is going to be upset. Very sure.
I think it'll be coming down fast. Well, it didn't come down as fast as I expected.
Yeah, to me that seemed like it was instant play, but I respect him taking the time to look over his other possible options, especially after what happened last game.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great point. Discipline is a big part of this game.
Ooh. And he got the Kronk's Battle Cry, which even though he played Kronk's before the Galakrond was active, he still got the benefit of the Battle Cry, and it ended up being 5 damage to face plus healing yourself for 5, which is pretty much the best one that he could have. Other than maybe giving his minions +2/+2, but it gave him a little bit extra buffer here, and really he's got more than enough damage on board to handle this.
Shudderwalk is such an amazing card, isn't it?
It's been amazing now for about 2 years. And there's an Eviscerate, but that is not nearly enough. And, you know, what are you going to sap? It's got to be an 8/8. Can't give him another Shudderwalk, that's for sure. He's just going to Eviscerate the face knowing that that is it, unfortunately.
That is GG.
Yep, that is it. That is effectively a concession, as all the damage will come to the face. Everything was already on board, and that that now gives Brushy Tuna game 4. Hey, but Chewbacca became a level 50 rogue, though, so that's pretty
Very sweet.
silver lining for him in this game. So that's going to bring us to game 5, I believe.
Yeah, this is I love it when they go right down to the right all the way home, you know? It's nice to see all 5 games get played. We truly get to see how they play with each deck.
Yep, we're going to see a little bit of everything here, and now we're definitely going to see rogue for Chewbacca, and we're going to see that rogue for Brushy Tuna. So this is the matchup that I was actually, when we talked at the top of the broadcast here, what I was interested in seeing, because I think this is going to be really a big test of skill in terms of who can pilot a pretty complex deck better than the other.
Yeah, this might be the shiniest hand I've ever seen.
Well, I guess we're going to see if it's an all gold deck when Brushy gets the coin.
And
It's
it is not.
Well, that's that might be the biggest disappointment we'll see all night.
Yeah, maybe
So
we'll
hope
just
for
end
the
the
full
stream
gold.
here.
I want to know what card is causing that to be a plain old coin.
Oh, it'll come.
Mummy needs 5 more minutes.
So Grand Mummy was the pickup off Pharaoh Cat for Chewbacca. Not the strongest, but it does allow him to keep keep tempo here and have something to play on turn 2 that's not just a dash. Would imagine Snip Snap is the play here to keep putting something on board.
You know, if Brushy Tuna wins tonight, I'm hoping that he celebrates by crafting himself a golden Dragon Queen Alexstrasza.
Oh yeah, that looks like the card that's not gold. Funny fact, I actually crafted golden Dragon Queen Alexstrasza last night after, I did all my dusting and whatnot, or not last night, the night before. I did all my dusting and whatnot, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna boot the regular version of Dragon's Queen and get a golden one, because anything that generates cards is where the true value is at for for crafting golden.
I'm too frugal. I only ever have a golden, a nice golden card until the next expansion comes out.
I can understand. That was a pretty good evolve or mutate rather, for Brushy Tuna. Gave him the 3/3 with taunt over the 1/4 evil miscreant. So it does take a few minions off board, but ultimately Chewbacca's still going to be able to get a little bit of damage to face, and we see Brushy pick up Flick. If you're Brushy, what would you want to use Flick for in this matchup?
Probably either Edwin or Alexstrasza. Something big, that's about it.
Yeah, you're probably using it more as an assassinate rather than I'm going to clear stuff out of your deck at this point. There's not really a whole lot of stuff that I think that Chewbacca would throw back into the...
Yeah, in fact, in this matchup, it's more what don't I want to use this on? Like, what can I... Like, you don't want to necessarily use it on their Dragon Queen Alexstrasza if you haven't played your Dragon Queen Alexstrasza yet, because then you're losing a ton of late game value.
Correct, because it does, as people will maybe not have realized, destroy copies of it wherever it is, not just your opponent's copies.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it's ever right to flick your own Dragon Queen Alexstrasza to prevent your opponent from ever playing theirs.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's never right. There's got to be situations where it's the right play.
There must be a
across it.
non-zero amount.
Oh yeah, that's the type of play that you'd see somebody make watching, a stream of like Grandmasters and say like, who would ever think to do that? And then surprisingly, it turns out to be.
Oh my goodness. It's a very cool animation for a very lackluster card.
Yeah, and that worked out in his favor there, as it did clear out the opposite side of the board and not really touch much of his. Brushy's starting to get dangerously low on health here, and not a whole lot of healing and taunt in this deck, so you've got to be a little bit concerned here that
Yeah, all
you're
he
just
has
a little
for
bit too
healing.
low to...
All he has for healing is what? Zephyrus? Anything? Galakron?
Yep, Galakron would be healing on demand. Neither player has invoked their Galakron at all yet.
Yeah, a lot of the times with this deck, you're playing your Galakron to draw a 1/0 cost card.
He pulls the Faceless Corruptor back, and there's the big Edwin.
You know
8-8,
what?
4-3, 4-4 on board.
Where does Flick go here?
I mean, you could make the case for it to be either Edwin or the 4-4 and 4-3, but he's not going to have another one in deck since it's a Highlander.
Yeah, it's hard to. What's
So I
Zephyrus
guess-
going to give us?
I guess it comes back to your question that you had earlier, which is what are you comfortable with ripping out of your own deck, for example? So if he hasn't yet played his Faceless Corruptor, he's going to lose his own when he goes and flicks the opponent's Faceless Corruptor.
Big Game Hunter not looking too bad in this match.
As long as it doesn't result in death right here, which it's going to,
Oh,
unfortunately,
Big
with
Game
Leroy.
Hunter.
Yeah, that's Leroy plus dagger is going to be it.
That is it. That's all, folks. Brushy Tuna, I was rooting for you.
Yeah, it was just exact lethal. I mean, it was one of those situations where he was kind of screwed either way. Unfortunately, just got too low and had no way to abate the damage, and that is game 5. Chewbacca takes it pretty quick. Was kind of expecting it to go a little bit more, a little bit longer there in the mirror, but hey, sometimes you just draw the right cards, and that's all that matters. So 5 games, a 3-2 win for Chewbacca.
Pretty incredible. Nice to see it. Nice to see the games went by fast. Those, you know what? You don't see people play that fast, and it seems like they still made choices that I wasn't thinking of.
Yeah, in general, they definitely played well. I think there were some spots where they could have made alternate choices, and Brushy, of course, missing that attack. But ultimately, I don't think that, like we said, I don't think that was the significant factor between winning and losing. So this is going to put Dirty Mike and the boys in a small hole, 12-11, going into the final match. So essentially, the winner of Dusharmo versus Kel will decide the winner of Good Luck Albatrosses versus Dirty Mike and the boys.
Yeah, no pressure, boys.
I got Chewbacca gonna join us here in a sec. There he is. What's up, Chew?
Hey,
How
Chew.
you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. Good games. First of all, important series for you guys here. I guess take us through what you were thinking in a couple of those matches there. Let's start back in game 1. That was let's just talk like what was your decision to lead off with the warrior there?
Opening with the warrior, I knew it was bomb, so I assumed he would probably have Highlander Rogue. So if he brought that leading, I'd have a fine time, and probably Warlock. If he opened with that, I'd have a fine time with that because he'd just draw the entire deck fast. So bombs make him go boom.
Definitely. That is what they do, and that is what happened. You got 10 damage out of the bombs, and we've actually talked about it on the broadcast. As if nothing else, if they're not affecting a Highlander deck, they're still damage, and we saw them get drawn. And I haven't personally seen too many people running the bombs in their deck. Is that something that you've been doing in a standard fashion, or was that something that you text specifically for this match?
No, just a friend of mine I saw playing the list. I liked it, and it went well with this because all 3 of his decks were just supposed to draw them really fast. Shaman drew out the deck fast, Warlock, and Rogue.
Yeah, and it paid off really well for you when he drew one off of Spirit of the Shark, or Spirit of the Spirit in Shaman, Spirit of the Frog.
Yeah, I don't think that he realized. I don't think we realized that was going to be a possibility because of the lack of bombs being played out there right now. That I'm just about to draw a bomb automatically with my with my spirits. So that might have also been kind of a factor there. But so this is a pretty back and forth series. Obviously, came down to game 5 there, and going into the Rogue versus Rogue matchup, it looked like you guys were playing roughly the same deck. Any sort of game plan you had for the mirror match there?
Go face.
And you did go face quite a bit.
I wanted to save the Shadow Step for Leroy, but then I saw I had it for the Faceless, and that was a much better setup with Edwin.
Yes, Big Edwin came down. That was definitely a good move. We liked that play for sure.
I was scared he was going to brawl that instead of BGH.
Yeah, Brawl was an option, as Zephyrus does tend to give that out, and would have been the better option in that case. Unfortunately, he did not. Unfortunately for him, he did not go that route. You were pretty happy to see the BGH.
Yeah.
I knew what was in his hand, and I still liked the BGH.
True.
Yeah, no, that was a fun series overall. That was a good match for an opening week.
Yeah, plenty more season to go, and you guys are now in the position to win the series. It all comes down to your teammate now. You've got you're going to be rooting for Desharmo, of course. Any last second encouragement you'd like to give him before we move on to game two?
I think he only needs to win one match or one game for the week, correct?
No, it's going to be. It was 8-8 going into this. Your 4
Oh, it
points
was.
picks you guys up to 12, and they will have 2 to make it 12-10. So
Oh,
if he
it was
only wins
8-8,
one, yeah, if he wins one, it goes to 13, and you guys would lose 14-13. So two, if he wins at least 2, you will have no worse than a tie.
All right, I'll take it then.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for coming on, Shu. Good win, and hope to see you again a bit more this season. It's the best way for people to qualify for March Madness. Get on stream.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks,
You
you.
bet.
Okay, so we got the 2 players are ready. Quick review of the classes there. So Desharmo with Mage, Rogue, Shaman, and Warlock. We have Kel from Dirty Mike and the Boys with Hunter, Priest, Rogue, and Warrior. What do you guys think of the bands?
Well, first of all, Kel's bringing Priest. That's surprising.
That's like milk
Greg might
milk in
not
a
be familiar,
cereal,
but
dude. That
Kel
is
is
milk.
our resident Priest lover. He brings Priest pretty much almost every week. Almost.
Oh, then I'm actually surprised that you're surprised.
No, he's a good Priest player. But people know that, and unfortunately, it does lead to a lot of Priest bans against him. So it's very possible that Desharmo just might eliminate that Priest right out of the equation. I do like that we're going to see a couple different classes this time because we'll see Hunter, we'll see Mage. I don't think either of those are probably going to get banned.
Yeah, Mage is an interesting choice, especially in this meta right now. But
He's one of two mages, Magi,
wow,
if you would. One in the red conference, one in the gold conference. So yeah,
Okay.
And we're
it's not a very common pick.
probably expecting Highlander Mage.
That does seem like the really only viable deck at the moment. I've played around with the Cyclone Mage, and it's not terrible, but it was a lot better on the first few days of the expansion than it is.
Yeah. All right. So what do you guys think bans are, and I'll let you know what the bans are.
I think Priest is getting banned, and I'm gonna take a guess here and say Mage gets banned.
Okay.
I agree with Priest, and I would say that Shaman will get banned for Desharmo.
Okay. Incorrect for both.
Dang.
Oh wow!
So Desharmo's Warlock got banned, and Kel's Hunter got banned.
Well,
which
bummed
is-
that we don't get to see the Hunter then.
I'm surprised that the Hunter got banned.
Me too. I'm surprised the Warlock got banned, to be honest with you, but it is what the players have chosen. So
And you're surprised that he brought Priest. So we're all a little surprised today.
surprise.
This should be a fun one.
Yep. So we get Desharmo on top with Kel on bottom, and for our lovely casters, Kel will be the first to spectate.
Fantastic.
So
And now
we'll
just
get this
to,
mixed up.
Just to reiterate, this is now game 5 of this series, and this is the 3-seed matchup. Desharmo at 375, PR Kel at 363. So pretty even on paper. But I will have anybody who does not have him on their friends list know Desharmo is currently sitting at 325 legend, so he's having a pretty good month.
Desharmo hasn't accepted my friend request.
I sent him a message for you to do so.
Yeah, me too. Spammed him.
Haha, he got spammed. It worked. Spam worked again.
People wouldn't do it if it didn't work, right?
But in my day, spam was just meat in a can.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I've ever actually eaten spam.
I'm gonna be honest, and this might explain my large stature. Spam is delicious.
I am also of large stature, but I have not partaken. Said.
Oh yeah, well you
Can of
you fry
Spam.
that up. You fry that up and put it on a breakfast sandwich and thank me later.
Okay. I'm
I,
gonna do that right now.
Yeah, I don't know how I can complain about that as a possibility, to be honest with you.
It's a lot better than you'd expect, which isn't saying much about Spam.
Looks like the players are jumping in.
They are, and we're going to see a warrior for Kel and the rogue for Desharma.
None can escape my fury.
So we've got Omega Devastator in Kel's deck. Is this straight Control Warrior is my question.
It
now.
is. I think it is Control Warrior.
And it looks like the, well, I mean, Rogue's a little hard to tell right out of the gate what it could be. The fly booters are usually indicator of high.
Yeah, that and the SI7 agent. Like lately, that's all you're seeing for. You're not seeing any Miracle or Tempo Rogue on ladder.
Very true.
Not to say someone can't bring a Miracle here. You guys should. But it looks like your standard Highlander Galakrond Rogue.
Now, I have yet to really see Control Warrior very much at all. And I'm wondering how it's normally in the past has been favored against Tempo Rogues and other rogues that are looking to be fairly aggressive. But, you know, this one does have a bit more staying power, and I'm curious to see. I'm looking it up right now just to see what the percentages here are on it.
If I had to guess, I would say that Control Warrior is probably favored, but I'm saying that with a grain of salt.
Well, I'll
For
have your
Salty
answer
Saturday.
here. Salty
That's
Saturday.
awesome.
That's on brand right there.
You're welcome.
So Control Warrior, admittedly, very minimal stats here. So,
Swiftly.
you know, not a whole lot of info, but it is very poor against Highlander Galakrond Rogue. It is a 24.3% win rate.
I'm wondering how much of that is people not knowing how to pilot the deck.
It's very entirely possible, but again, you know, Rogue tends to be the harder to pilot, and at this point, people who are playing Control Warrior probably have a lot more experience with it because its current, you know, incarnation is very similar to what it's been now for the last few cycles. So I would imagine that it's still the more known deck than Highlander Galakrond Rogue would be, but you know, not everyone plays every deck off.
Yeah, so now we have Kel as the underdog, and it'll be exciting to see if he can be that 24% player.
Think.
So going into turn 3 here now, you know, Desharmo's trying to continue to put pressure on. I don't think he really can fully know what Kel's running yet, seeing as Kel has yet to, you know, play a.
Yeah, I would still be assuming Galakrond Warrior at this point.
Of course, yeah. You just maybe your opponent bricked their draw a little bit. He's gonna play the shield block, which I think the shield block will give an indication that it's not your standard Galakrond Warrior. Because if he had played Snip Snap, he might still be unaware. Desharmo, that is, might be unaware of what he's facing.
Yeah, Snip Snap wouldn't be too crazy to see in a
Right.
Galley Warrior.
But at this point, it looks like, you know, Desharmo is going to continue to try to push tempo.
I'm guessing Call of the Wild is probably one of your better cards here.
Yeah, Embalming is bad because it shuffles the three dead cards into your deck that neutralizes all your Highlander stuff. Plague of Death, I can see a case for it, but Call of the Void definitely seems like, you know, it's an activator. It's only 1 mana, so for combos, it's good, and it might generate some value depending on the demon.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so good getting it off of your Discover a Spell, but still, it's not the worst thing you could have got. It's probably the lower 20% though.
Just gonna make the best out of it. But Dynamatic here is going to clear at least 3 things. It did not clear one of the right 3 things. He was kind of hoping it would take the 4-1 out of play, or 4-3 out of play. It's now a 4-1, the Henchland Burglar. But this is now an easy clear back for Desharmo to get rid of the 3-4 and not allow him to Ziliax on top of it. And
I wonder if he clears it by spamming the board with minions, or like how's he gonna clear it? SI7 agent and the Lackey? Well, he can't do both.
we can rush that bad boy in and use the SI agent. or he's gonna use the weapon. That's fine too. He's got plenty of health right now, and knowing this Control Warrior, it's not exactly a bursty deck. You can get down to a pretty low amount and still feel fairly safe as the rogue.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I'm not sure how I'd be playing it as the rogue. I know you want to be the aggressor, but you don't want to go too wide either.
Definitely. I think you want to try to go tall, go more tall than wide if you can. You're not playing anything.
Sorry, Sap is pretty incredible here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other sap targets you'd really want to hit, but no, I think that's your best case scenario there. Is you're sapping something with added value on top of it. So now Snip Snap is taken out of play, and the Rover is just kind of sitting there back in hand. And
that was basically 2 mana to destroy a minion and return 1 to their hand.
Tomb Warden, will he get to turn 8? I guess to really get the benefit of the Tomb Warden, but
is Tomb Warden like he has the answer for it too with
with Flick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is looking pretty good for our rogue player. I think we're starting to see why the matchup's so tilted.
You beat me to it. I was going to say the exact same thing. We're starting to see the exact reason why the numbers are what they are. So yeah, it's funny. Hearthstone is like that sometimes. You question the numbers, and then when you see the matchup play out, it just becomes an overly abundant that this is their numbers are. They don't lie. They don't lie.
Yeah, unless they tell you they're always going to be there for you.
Then Sharmo thinking...
Shakira.
Thank you, Saku.
I'm wondering if he's going to try to clear this with spells or minions. There's going to be some value here.
Yeah, I think if he's moving in there, the Kobold Lackey is probably the choice. So he's going to say, okay, go ahead and heal up. It's going to be effectively healing, which is not fantastic for Darmo, but he's going to get the Kronks down and continue to have a strong board presence. And Kel at this point is kind of sitting in a rough spot where you probably don't want to brawl quite yet, but you are running out. Well, Town Crier gives him another option completely with the Restless Mummy.
Yeah, Restless Mummy is pretty great here.
That's just going to clear that Kronks right off.
No tomb can hold me.
I guess his other option would have been to shield block at the top before the Town Crier. He could shield block, use the armor up, and then use the shield slam to kill the 6/6. But this works just as. By the way, Saku, I'm just noticing now that you're using the picture of my knee as the as my icon on stream.
I should have sent him a picture of my knee so you wouldn't feel so excluded.
That's fantastic.
See? Always looking out for you, buddy.
Oh man.
Not the best Galakron in the world, but at least now he can generate infinite value, which is probably another reason why Control Warrior's not favored in this matchup, is every turn he can keep making more threats with that hero power.
Yeah, you're gonna run out of tools eventually to clear the board, and like you mentioned earlier, it's nice to get more draw off that Galakron, but it doesn't always seem to work out that way, especially when you've only got 1-ofs in your deck. And did he just get Dr. Pooh?
I don't know if you play Dr. Boom in this matchup.
I don't know if you do.
It's hard to say.
It would be hilarious though. Like let's not get anything wrong here. He would be funny, and I'm sure Kel would be completely thrown to see it come down. But yeah, I think the Lackey. Well, that's the thing, is you're paying 2 to get lackeys, and the lackeys are of course random, and then instead you'd be getting a random hero power. So there is still like an element of randomness to it. I guess it's just which random element you prefer.
He already played Kronks, so yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe you do play Dr. Boom. Simiat seems nice too, though.
Now with Tomb Warden in deck, is he also running Armageddillo?
More than likely.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It seems like the reason to play a Control Warrior right now. That and
Absolutely.
Dr. Boom. Then speaking of Dr. Boom,
1 and 3 to keep that CM alive right now.
come on, CMET. I always wanted to
Oh,
live it,
baby.
live.
He emotes astonishing, but the figures weren't exactly overwhelming. against the Tiamat living.
You know,
Um,
statistically speaking, the chances of that Simiat living were actually higher than the chances of the Warrior winning this matchup.
oh no, the Sathravar!
Ever
Oh my
gross.
goodness!
Gross play.
That's
That
24
is
damage.
incredible.
That is just absolutely backbreaking for Kel.
We're going to be talking to our grandkids about this one.
Well, it's not 24 damage this turn. I forgot that the Tiamat doesn't get to attack right away, but I mean, how do you remove this? You have to brawl again? Or do you use Restless Mummy and then brawl?
Where were you the day that 2 Simiats were on the board?
I was right here, baby.
I wonder.
We'll be asking ourselves that question for years to come.
I think the only option here is Restless Mummy and brawl. Well, he's gonna go ahead and Omega Assembly first. I guess then you don't have to Restless Mummy. You can probably use the Spring Rocket instead. But you're gonna have to brawl here. No, why would you not? You're gonna leave a chance of something being on board. And one of them's a Tiamat. It's even better odds that it's a Tiamat this time. I mean, I guess like his best case scenario was that the Sathravar lives, and then he uses the Omega Devastator to clear out the board. But you're sitting there asking for the 1/3. I mean, that's really greedy. So now 12
Yeah.
damage.
He doesn't have any damage in hand, does he?
Not that I can see.
No, it doesn't look like it.
But you know what he does have in hand? It's a Tiamat.
What's he get?
So he pulls a Witchy Lackey. He will obviously not be using that on the Tiamat. But I would think that we're gonna see the second Tiamat come right down. We've seen 2 brawls. I don't see a world in which they both get removed.
What a cool game. It's not every game you see 3 Tiamats in play. In one game.
Yeah, there is just nothing here for Kel. Yeah, I'm struggling to find a way that he gets through this at all, but I don't think there's.
I'm guessing he's struggling too.
I wonder.
He can Restless Mummy off that one Tiamat.
I guess you play the Boom Reaver and hope for a miracle.
Yeah, but the Boom Reaver itself doesn't even have Rush because Dr. Boom's not online yet. I don't know what you'd get out of the deck that would be enough to.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think there's anything that he comes back here with. What does he draw?
Nothing at all, unfortunately. He's drawn both Restless Mummies. He drew Ziliax already. That's it. That's all that's in the deck. That's
What a
1-0 for
game.
DeSharmo. Yeah, I really, I think that there were better ways to go about the board clears there. It seemed like he was trying to high roll a little bit too much, and unfortunately, Hearthstone
But
was
you
not
know what?
cooperative.
That matchup, I think, is the matchup where you're going to want a high roll.
That is true. If he knows the numbers and knows that he's extremely unfavored in that matchup, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah, because that's probably the only way you're going to win.
Shall bring victory.
Oh, 1,000 wins with the Priest. I'm excited, at least. So I'm excited to see.
I believe it's around 1,700, if I'm not mistaken, from what he said before.
Wow.
I'm also in that club, so I've played my fair share of Priest. I'm a big Priest guy. Y'all can hate me as much
You
as
like
you
Big
want.
Priest?
Oh, I love me some Big Priest.
I wrote a song about how Barnes should get nerfed.
I think we talked about this, to be honest.
Very cool.
But Kel's going to his comfort pick, which is that Priest, and we're going to see the Mage, which appears to be the Highlander Mage.
Yeah, that
Or- yeah, it's
portal's
gotta be
looking. That portal, I love that portal. Or Luna's Pocket Galaxy.
I dusted the crap out of that card.
Yeah, I actually remade it just recently. I think I crafted it last week. This deck is powerful when it goes off.
It's.
I believe
look,
Mage is favored against Resurrect Priest.
Well, I can look that up real quick, since that's another matchup I have yet to see much of.
Let's see if I'm wrong twice in a row. I'm pretty sure though that Mage has the upper hand here.
You are correct in this case. It is the priest is 35.8% to win this matchup. So yes, it is definitely very favored here on Desharmos.
He opts for the early Zephyrus to get his mana up, which just seems perfect with Pocket Galaxy in your hand.
Yeah, I
And
think that's the
coin.
right game plan. Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
if he does, oh, and he draws the Dragoncaster, so he can have Pocket Galaxy online next turn. I'm guessing he's just gonna Pocket Galaxy here.
He's not holding a dragon though. Well, no, he is now.
He is now.
Yeah, he wasn't until I stopped that sentence where he picked up Malagos aspect of magic, and your play is all too easy at this point.
What a
And
nut draw!
that is just absolutely crazy.
You couldn't ask for a
Wow,
better play.
indeed.
And the priest doesn't even know that he drew the activator off the top.
I'm sure when Kel watches the VOD later, he will know and be very sad. And I can completely understand. I mean, I guess the good news here is the Infiltrator is going to absorb this entire board right now.
Well, he could Simiat and hope that it doesn't eat the Simiat.
That's true. He could do that. Because it's a 1-mana card.
He could Luna's pocket or Luna into Simiat and then try to get a little chain going here. It'll be exciting to see what he goes for. I think Luna Simiat is the play.
I think that's a pretty strong look right here. I mean, knowing that you can draw another 1-cost card off the top of your deck very easily.
Yeah, and now he has more targets for that Corruptor to hit.
Yep, he's going to throw the Rush down. I don't even think you bother with the Divine Shield, honestly. I would have just Wind Furied. I think.
Oh, what a draw.
Why not? Let's keep going.
Ray of Frost, probably.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
What is happening right now? This is just nuts.
This might be the best opening for a mage deck that I've ever seen.
Is he going to have enough time?
I sure hope so. Oh, yeah, he makes it, right? Yeah, he got in there with everything. What a play. Well done. This guy knows how to
Oh,
do
no, the Mass Hysteria.
So, still. Wow. Let's see how this goes.
Basically went about as well as it could for Kel.
Wow, this is a game that I'm happy to see. No burn, unfortunately.
Yeah, not the best draws off of the Malagos, but
Yeah, he would have liked to see a polymorph or some direct damage.
Kel also, for what it's worth, has not moved the needle at all on the quest. He is at 0 heal, but he's going to be at 3 heal now with Ziliax coming down. And this is a good turn. It was a snap turn. Ziliax, Forbidden Words, clears the board, and Kel is now going to be able to breathe a little bit here, knowing that he's 1 turn closer to having Plague of Death as a possibility in his hand.
This is another great play. See what he discovers off this creation.
Yeah, you just take the biggest stats, 5 6s. So you're facing down 14, 15 with the hero power, and you know that your opponent has a big spell in their hand from Malagos. You don't know that they don't have direct damage, which is, of course, a consideration you have to be playing around right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's just going to go with the big Enforcer.
He'd probably like to go ahead and Sandhoof if he can, but knowing the possibilities of just straight dying is very concerning. So I think that you're probably going to play the Infiltrator and heal.
I think I like Mushagi Enforcer.
The only reason I would say that this is the play that he's going to go with, and it looks like that's what he's doing, is that it does progress the quest at least a little bit. And if he's going to have any chance to win, he probably feels like he has to have the quest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're gonna have some fun.
But Reno's going to be a clear of the Infiltrator. It looks like it's going to take out the 410, which is a little unfortunate, but not completely devastating for Desharmo. He'll still get 10 to face, ping off an extra damage, and, you know, does he want to go ahead and play anything else on board? I don't think he really needs to with this.
Yeah, I feel like he can hold back a bit here and make him answer it.
Yep, board's dangerous enough to draw the Plague of Death out. So now Desharmo knows he can pretty safely play some stuff here, as he's already seen one Mass Hysteria, one Plague of Death, and you know what? If he takes another Plague of Death, then he'll just live.
Oh, what an awful book of Spectres.
Unfortunate. Just a little bit of extra damage on board now with the Acidic Swamp Ooze and Ziliax coming down. And Kel could not wait to get those Sandhoof Water Bearers out of his hand and completing his quest.
Yeah, it's not. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be enough. 0 mana Mountain Giant feels good.
What Kel really needs at this point is some Resurrect. But he has not seen the Mass Reses yet. We're going to see Flame Strike. Well, at least now he knows that that is out of hand, and there's less direct damage coming his way.
Yeah, no longer does he need to worry about, was it 12 damage Pyroblast?
Something along those lines, yeah. Though Shadow or Death is a good pickup here.
Yeah, it looks like he can do some cleaning up here. If he could play Mass Dispel with Breath of the Dragon and
Must consider.
Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Death, but that would be his whole hand.
Yeah, Breath plus Death plus Forbidden Words clears off 3 things.
Yeah, and Breath, Death, and Mass Dispel does 3 things. Could go. It's gonna be a tough play for him.
He's going to opt to heal instead first. Yep, and he's going to leave the Ziliax up. But that still leaves a 2-1 on board, so it doesn't actually take any more damage off the board.
Oh, Caligos could make lethal.
Oh, that's brutal.
Fireball for lethal?
Or Pyroblast for extra lethal.
What a game.
And now, we've seen Kel at a massive disadvantage twice in the matchup tree. So now Desharmo has a 2-0 lead, as we discussed before the series started. That ensures that his team will at least get a piece of this week with a tie. So if Kel is able to come back and reverse sweep, it'll still be a tie this week. But Desharmo, he's looking to close it out with the sweep right now. So we're going to see, let's see, what are we going to see? It's going to be Shaman for Desharmo versus anything in Kel's lineup.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see Kel get some action. I'd love to see this this matchup go the whole 5. That'd be best for everyone.
It is always nice to see as many games as possible, but you know, we don't want to keep Saku up too.
I'm awake, dude. San Francisco won tonight, so I'm okay.
Still partying, I would imagine. So if it is Galakrond Shaman here, the best deck that he probably wants to see, well, it would not be.
The light shall bring victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Am I wrong? Is Priest favored in this matchup?
No, it is not.
I don't play any Priest.
It is a 39.1% for the Priest against Galakrond Shaman, which is what it appears to be. So yeah,
This
this
is a
is
sad day for our friend Kel.
yeah. Kel is just lineup wise did not make the right decisions here. It would appear.
This is well, hopefully he upsets us all, or gets the upset.
If it had been aggro overload Shaman, it would have been a significantly closer, almost a coin flip. Slightly. Oh no, never mind. I read the chart wrong, rather. No, it would have been actually. No, it would have been slightly better it would have been almost almost a coin flip, like I said, but still favored for the Shaman.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited to see Kel get the win. Come on, Kel, you can do it.
He does have some tools in his hand, which is nice. The Mass Hysteria. He's got, Cartoon. He's got Convincing Infiltrator, so he can kind of curve up into that end game that he's going to need. But there's just so much extra reload for the Shaman. Like we saw, last series we saw the Shutter Walk after the Galakron. Like it's just hard to stop at a point. Like there's just so much that they can do unless you have all your Mass Hysterias, you have all of your Plague of Deaths, and you live that long. And now we're going to see the Hex of the Convincing Infiltrator. So that's not even a viable pullback in a res situation for Kel. It's just really dire.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Desharmo's running double Hex, double Earth Shock, which would be pretty awful for our friend Kel here.
Yeah, he's got that mass res, but I'm sure he doesn't want to res a frog. Yeah, that's almost without a doubt getting earth shocked this turn.
Yeah, it would be great. It seems like he's gonna want to.
I would say, the frog is probably a good play here. Frog into earth shock, clear it with a 2/1, and then just you probably don't want to go to face quite yet since you don't want to allow him to heal too. You could always coin if once you see what you draw. Oh, no, he's on a far side here instead. Oh, the other hex.
Now you're probably thinking coin. Oh, I think I would have used the coin there to hex.
No, the hex was drawn off of the
the frog. Yeah,
off the frog. So it's still a 4 mana. It was the Corrupt Elementalist that ended up being the 3, which in and of itself is not bad. And Kel does have the answer to clear the frog off here, which is nice, and his minion does live. Yeah, this bad news, buddy. Hex is going to continue to dilute your resurrect pool, and this is again looking bad.
And I believe Mass Resurrection can indeed pull 2 frogs.
Oh, it certainly can.
My goodness.
Yeah, Psychopomp right now only has frogs to target, so he's going to need that Kartut to die before that becomes a possibility. But here comes Dragon Pack. Just saw Mass Hysteria come down, so going wide, getting ready to do as much damage as possible. In comes Earth Shock.
Time to go face.
Yeah, the time is finally now to where Desharman does not mind if Kel starts making progress towards the quest.
I was wondering if he would consider mutating the Corrupt Elementalist or not.
I think I absolutely would have there. I think that's one of the prime targets for it in the deck. So here comes Mass. And if you're Kel, you want to clear off that Corrupt Elementalist just in case. Attack first. If you're gonna Mass Hysteria, attack first. There you go.
Yay. He listened. Not the best Mass Hysteria. Oh no!
Oh, it lived!
Wow.
No way!
I will act as your scale.
Oh, Kel.
And down comes the Maniac, and you've got to imagine Mutate.
Better mutate than never.
Ooh, 5/8. That's a pretty strong Mutate too.
That's the second time we've seen that off of a transform effect today.
It is, and no way for him to sack back.
Just
So Mass Res is pretty poor at this point. He can get 1 Kartut out of it, but you'll get 2 frogs. Psychopomp can only possibly serve to make the pool worse if he pulls another frog. So yeah, it's probably time to go ahead and use the Sandhoof and get some other advantageous minions in your death pool.
I got a feeling this one's going the way of the Shaman.
I hope you like my invention.
Zentimo.
Now, the good news for Kel is Zentimo, we've already seen both hexes. So you can't pull off the Zentimo Hexalot. But he can pull off the Zentimo Earthshock if he has that in hand.
Yeah, and he's got the lightning bolt as well, which is, you know, a little extra, a little something to help push through.
He's going to use that to help clear the hoof, though. Sand hoof. I almost called him water hoof, which is definitely not right.
Water hoof behemoth.
And what'll Psychopomp get? It's the best hit he could. It was the Cartoon Defender.
My goodness.
So that might be the little luck that Kel needs to try and start getting back into this game, as now that's going to throw at least 2 more Cartoon Defenders into the pool. And Katrina is in hand, Mass Resurrection is in hand. So we could actually start to see Kel have a little bit of a turn here, though it's going to need to be quick, because Desharmo now has a huge board with both Mass Hysterias gone. So unless Plague of Death comes out right now, it might be too little too late.
Yeah, I think that Galakron and Shutterwalk are willing to disagree with you about Kel turning this game around.
Yeah, it's going to have to probably be back-to-back Plague of Deaths. Zarek Sloan and Gallery, not great, but probably has to be the play here.
If he can draw that Earth Shock, he'll be laughing.
So he'll have 1 Convincing Infiltrator coming out of the deck, no Cartoon Defender, 1 Mashog, I believe.
Not the
Oh,
best.
yes.
Oh, he got the... Yeah, this isn't bad for him.
No, he's going to get a second Cloning Gallery, so he's going to get a second minion, but yeah, it wasn't the best pull with Sandhoof Water. He would have liked to see like another Convincing Infiltrator, Mashog.
Earthquake.
No, probably doesn't want to use Earthquake here at the very least, because it's just going to kill his own board.
I still think he takes Earthquake because the other 2 cards literally do zilch.
He'll take it, but he won't use it here, I would imagine.
No.
I will act as your
Unfortunately, those 2 cards exist, the totem cards that no one's played longer than 30 seconds in Hearthstone.
I mean, no one's been able to make Totem Shaman a thing?
All those cards.
So this is going to be somewhat of a clear here. You're going to try to clear, I think, any of the more problematic cards. If you leave those Sandhoof Water Bearers up, they're just going to continue to heal, so you probably have to take them both out. But the question is, do you take them out or do you take Vargoth out? It looks like he's going to go ahead and clear Vargoth.
I'm surprised by that.
I think the idea was that he wanted to put only the worst things back into the pool that could possibly be resurrected, but yeah, that's...
Didn't pay off at all here.
It did not pay off.
Actually, very good luck off these resurrection spells.
Very, yeah.
Earthquake's not
Considering
bad
what we
here.
saw in the first few turns where he would likely have been grabbing Frog.
double the power, double the storm.
Do you have a clear here? No, eh?
No clear at this point now.
I guess it really just depends on how far the Shutterwalk goes as to who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, Kel has not yet used any plagues, so that is still something that has to be considered. There's the hard draw, Vargoth.
See, that's where it comes from.
Kel does get a little bit of a break here now. I can see a case to just slam the Shutterwalk down, but
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, because you're going to have a ton of 2-1s to eat up that Death Rattle trigger.
he's definitely going to chew through it. I think the worry is whether or not his board just immediately gets destroyed.
Oh,
at
that's
which
what I'm
point-
saying. You swing at it with the 8/8, and then one of the 2-1s eats it.
He drew the Earthshock.
Wow. Oh, and he's got
Yeah.
that extra Stormbringer in here, too. Storm Surge. Wow. It's a greedy Shutterwalk deck.
I think I would have liked. I think I would have liked to see him use the claw on face instead.
Yeah,
personally,
I don't
and there's Plague of
understand.
Death.
I don't understand why he went that way.
So Kel is going to continue to hold the Plague of Death instead and just make a giant Mashog 517 with Taunt and Divine Shield. And oops, it's Earthshock.
Almost lethal here. What, 2 or 3 damage off? 3 damage off?
Yeah, it's going to be real close. Yep, 4 shy with this with the claw, and that. Oh no, he's not going to use the claw. Plague of Death is absolutely automatic.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't need to be worried about weapon removal, and I don't know if he has any other reach in this deck. I wouldn't think he would.
Is he honestly thinking of playing really anything else in this hand? I can't see a case for anything at this point. Vargoth plus Penance isn't enough to absorb what damage is on board. Katrina could absolutely brick, and then you just lose. It's got to be played.
I don't think he's got anything good left in his deck as the shaman. Like, I guess he has enough in hand, but yeah, this
Storm
is
Surge
huge.
plus Dragon's Pack is pretty big. I mean, there was really no other option for Kel there, and I guess like if he top decks this next Plague of Death, he might have actually run Desharm out of resources. Well, there's a Sandhoof, so
Yeah, that's GG. I guess you just play your legendary minion here and hope for the best.
yeah, it's got to be Katrina most likely.
Oh, I guess he has 2 legendary minions.
Katrina and then Penance away the 3/3. Hope you have enough to survive through the damage, but I don't think that's going to be enough no matter what.
Well, he'll need to draw like the 2/4 with Divine Shield or Kartut Defender.
Kartut
Defender it is.
But it doesn't matter. It's going to heal him up 6, which will put him to 18. Then that's 8 from the remaining wolves.
Yeah, he'll be left at
Or
1 damage,
12,
right?
Oh, he will. No, so 4/5 into the Kartut, 2/1 in to clear it, heals him up to 18. Then
Yeah.
you're right. It is one damage off.
Oh wow, this is gonna be a close matchup.
Ooh.
I got mojo.
I'm. Oh, he's gonna use
no,
the
it is lethal. He does have
It is lethal. He's gonna use the rush. He's gonna use the.
What a genius.
Desharmo. He saw it before we did. Right as he started the play, we saw it.
Yeah, I was just about to see it.
Yeah, I was just putting the pieces together as he was, but he got there before we did. And Desharmo polishes off the sweep of Kel 3-0, and that will win the week for GL.
Wow, he didn't even break a sweat. You got to respect this, Desharmo, and Kel played a good game. It's just what a terrible matchups he had.
Yeah, the spread was not good, and Desharmo really he just had to play and not make a bunch of mistakes, and that's what he did. He just played solid the whole way through and won the match. And I would imagine Saku, we're gonna get Desharmo in here for a little chat.
He denied just because he feels too good right now.
He denied because he feels too good. All right, that's fine. He wants to celebrate with his team. I can get that. You're lying again. This is the second time you've lied tonight.
Them Canadians are such liars.
Yeah, well, Canadians are big liars.
I am feeling very hurt right now.
There he is. Hello, Desharmo.
Welcome to Winner's Circle, sir.
You made it, man. You pushed through. Persevered.
He had everything in that last match. Like, all the answers.
Except for the kitchen sink. That was it.
Yes.
Yeah, or a good matchup.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah, it did look like you had the advantage matchup-wise all evening. All 3 games you were very favored in, which, doesn't make you sad in any way, I'm sure. So I want to know, was there ever a point in that second game where you considered playing Dr.
No. I think I was holding on Dr. Boom because I wanted to be able to have that lackey generation because that lackey generation is really good, and
Very.
I'd play Doctor Boom if like I needed to be defensive, but I think getting a lackey every turn is better than a random hero power, and I think 2 or 3 of them are worthless versus a control warrior. So see no point in playing it. When I got it, I was like, man, this is kind of a dead card.
Yeah, we kind of had the same, like, the initial, like, wow, he got Dr. Boom. They were like, well, it's really not better than what he's already using. It just kind of, I guess, would have been a funny turn of events for you to be the
Yeah.
one who had Boom.
Yeah,
But
you
you're
should have done
right.
it for the meme, but we still respect you nonetheless.
I wanted to win the game, so
Yeah, I think your teammates probably feel the same way about that as well. And
I
so you knew that Priest was going to be brought. I would imagine, knowing your opponent, and that Quest Res was the likely deck that he would bring.
yeah,
Did you have kind of like a target kind of in mind for that? Was that when you were building your lineup? Was that kind of a consideration you made?
it's exactly how I built my lineup to beat Quest Priest. I was kind of a little bummed when he started rezzing things and he never got anything bad.
No
Yeah, we
kidding.
couldn't believe it. His luck that last game,
Yeah.
outside of queuing against a matchup that was clearly meant to destroy Priest, he had all the good RNG on those resurrections.
Yeah, I killed I think 2 of his 3/1s, and I hexed 2 things, and it's still nothing. None of those things were res
Right.
ever.
And we saw, I mentioned this when you were killing stuff, that you were purposely killing the weaker resable things because you
Yeah.
wanted to dilute the pool, and it just never got there, and it
Nope.
didn't matter because you didn't need it to get there. But it's still, like, I thought the line you took was interesting, and especially that the line you took on the very last turn there to kill him. We didn't really recognize that lethal. How fast did you recognize that, or was that something that was kind of churning over in your brain trying to find a way to get through?
I knew I had lethal. I just was trying to figure out how to figure it out. I think there was another way to do it too. I don't think I needed to play Zentimo, because I had that 2/1 on board, and then I could hero power 2/1, and then do the invocation. So I actually
Right.
had an extra 2/1 that I could have played. So I actually didn't need to play Zentimo, and that's still
Yeah,
that.
but I'm sure Zentimo appreciates some of the limelight.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna
True.
flex on somebody, why not with the legendary? But
Yeah.
Well, you clearly came with a game plan. You executed the game plan, and you're walking away without even points scored against you.
No, and Kel's really good. I got lucky in that second game, being able to coin the 6-4-4. I forgot the name of it, and then play the.
Oh, you
yeah,
had the best.
how are we not going to talk about that play?
Yeah, that's literally in the mage deck called the nuts. That's the
Yeah.
definition of the nuts.
Not to mention Zephyrus into Wild Growth only a few turns before that.
Yeah.
And then you drew the dragon off the top of the deck.
and I got what was it? Even in my first game, I was really lucky. I got Sathravar, and he couldn't kill my Siamat, so I Sathravar'd my Siamat. Had 2 6/6s with Divine Shield. I won the brawl. So like, there's so many things that went my way. So I think this game is a little bit closer than it kind of comes out to be because of all those lucky things that happened to me.
Yeah, we were talking about how, especially in that first matchup there that you mentioned with the Siamats, he was not favored, or you were very favored, I should say, which, as Craig pointed out during the broadcast, that's the time when you probably want to try and take a little bit more of a risky line, knowing you need to, have a few things break your way in order to get the win. So you probably try to take the risky line with the brawls in order to see if he could come out with a high roll, and it just never happened for him in that game. And Siamat, when left alive, is pretty darn good.
Well, there was one turn where I had 1 mana left, and I had the lackey that makes a 1/1 and a 2/2. I purposely didn't play it because I knew he was probably going to brawl.
Right.
And then once he played both brawls, then I played it. So I knew that there was nothing he could do about it.
Next level.
And I also there were some choices in that pick. I think I remember I had Plague of Death, the Void, the 1 mana Void card, and another card. I forgot the other one. But Plague of Death,
you had embalming as well.
Yeah. Or no, it wasn't embalming. It was the warlock spell that destroys a minion and shuffles 3/1/1s in your deck.
Yeah,
So that
that's
was
embalming.
embalming. Okay, yeah. That card was a no because I'm a Highlander deck.
Absolutely.
And then the other two, like you look at it, you're like, oh man, Plague of Wrath sounds really good, but I'm playing against a control warrior. When am I going to ever Plague of Wrath? So I figured I get the void, the free demon, and I got like one of the best ones that I could have had.
Yeah, we came to the same conclusion, but we said like it's not really the best card, but then it turned out to be an incredible card for you.
It pretty much was my win condition for that match. It turned out to be, at least. So
It's nice. I mean, we talk about Hearthstone being a game of RNG at times, but sometimes like it's all about what you do with the cards that show up after a random effect. Like you find that line, and I think that's where the real tricks come in there. And obviously Satharvar kind of made your life a little bit easier, but it's adapting. It's really just you got to learn to adapt.
Oh, and just so that I can correct myself, it's not embalming, it's imp bombing.
Imp bombing, there you go. Because I was thinking embalming was the one that makes it's a priest card that makes something have reborn. If I'm not
Yeah, this
mistaken.
one's more
That's
of a play on words with embalming.
Yeah.
Well, great games, man. Like that was impressive to see. First sweep that I've seen this year. I think it's great to show your dominance early in the season. So congratulations. Can't wait to defeat you later.
Yeah, and
Ooh,
I
trash
don't know if
talk.
this makes Cal feel any better. There was really nothing he could have done. Like there was no plays or no lines that he could have done to win him the game. My RNG was really high this game. So if you're listening, Cal, you'll get your turn. You'll high roll somebody soon.
Or he'll go on the worst losing streak in the history of THL. Like I'm just saying, don't make promises you can't keep.
He's already done that his first season, so he can't do that.
Yeah, that was Hero though. He's never experienced it in Legacy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Kel, like, don't feel bad, dude, at all. You didn't misplay or at least I didn't see any misplays. There's really not much he could have done there.
Yeah, when you watch the stream, you'll see what he had to deal with there. And
yeah,
so good.
Well, he's a good player.
Yep.
Well, we'll let you go take the news back to your team. Anybody who wasn't watching the stream anyway. And congrats again. Early win for you. Early win for the team. Looked great. So look forward to seeing you around on stream. Hopefully the rest of the season to Charm.
Thank you, guys. And I want to say I'm glad Salty Saturday's back, too. I ran it 2 seasons ago, so glad to see someone else doing it. Awesome.
We are excited to make this a permanent fixture this season. And hopefully get some more premier matches, as the season goes on. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Good luck again, and congrats.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Sherman.
Bye.
We have one thank you to do for our resub. We got to thank Donde for resubbing.
That was right at the top, wasn't it?
Yep.
I can think of nothing better than to give my own money to something that gives me so much happiness. So I would, like to again shout out anybody else who does sub to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. If you have Twitch Prime, it is always a free sub with your first, sub of the month. So it does continue to allow us to roll back that money into more prize pools for our off-season tournaments, and increases our capabilities of bringing better content to you. So it is always appreciated. Thank you guys who do it on a monthly basis, and hopefully we see more of that going forward.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I think that's going to do it for us. Craig, it was great to cast with you, and hopefully we get to do this again, and hopefully you continue to have good luck in your THL matches. Saku, thank you for operating the stream as always. Congratulations to you and your Niners, and I look forward to seeing you win your opening match for our hero team tomorrow.
Yep, that'll work.
That will work. That'll play.
And to a great THL for the rest of the season. Good to have it going again.
Yep, plenty more to come. This is just week 1, so we will be back. I do not believe we have any stream matches set up for tomorrow. We're still working on some stuff for Sunday, so we will be looking at next week then. So our next broadcast will be Tuesday. That'll be Saloon for Hero, Heart Centers on Wednesday, and Tavern Talk on Thursday. But that's all we got right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the cast, and have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Let me change
Good
your
game, boys.